Okay, before we go ahead and get into the guitar tip, I thought maybe I'd show you this guitar. I have a guitar student guy who likes to build his own guitars, and he sent me this about a week ago. I got this in the mail. So he sent it to me, which I thought was very generous. It's a Telecaster style body. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about it because you're going to see it in upcoming videos, and a lot of times people are like, what are you playing? It's a quilted maple top. It's very nice. It's not purple. It's basically black and gray. The back of it, it's an ash body. The neck he bought from Warmouth. It's a Paduke neck. This wood is Paduke. And then it has a really nice ebony fretboard. As you can see, it has these two mineral lines that go down it, which is really nice. Has hip shot tuners, a Graph Tech nut, which is really nice. Stainless steel frets, and has Seymour Duncan hot rail pickups in it. Has two double humbuckers, so I won't have any problem playing, a lot of heavy rock with this. And the guitar is super thin. It's almost like and it kind of feels like an SG. It's very thin. So I thought I'd at least show you that and tell you what it was in case you were wondering. Now let's go ahead and get into your guitar tip 22. Hey, this is Chris, your guitar teacher here at GuitArmy All Access, and this is guitar tip number 22. This is going to be the most important guitar tip I ever give you, and that is that rhythm is king. When I say that rhythm is king, I'm trying to be a little dramatic, but it is absolutely true. It is the most important thing that you're going to do when you play music. I always used to think it's about what scales I know, how fast I can play, what licks do I know, how cool can I sound. None of that matters at all unless you have rhythm. You might be thinking, uh-oh, I kind of have a problem with rhythm. Well, you're not alone. Almost everybody has issues with rhythm. And when I say rhythm, I'm really talking about timing. So when I'm talking about rhythm, I'm not talking about just playing rhythm guitar. I'm really talking about the rhythm of your lead playing as well, or your timing. Recently, I had a student, he said, what's the difference between rhythm and timing? And I had to think about it. I'm like, I don't know. To me, I think of them as the same. I think those words are kind of interchangeable. Now, granted, no one's playing timing guitar. You're playing rhythm guitar. But when I'm discussing rhythm, I'm really talking about timing. It's the timing of your rhythm playing and the timing of your lead playing or your fills. Everything, all that timing and the rhythm of how you play things is incredibly important. So what we're going to do is talk about a couple different ways that you can work on improving your timing. The number one way to improve your timing is tap your foot while you're playing. You don't have to tap your foot, but you need to be able to keep some way you have to keep the beat while you're playing music. For me, it's tapping my foot. I see a lot of players. I was watching Al Di Meola. He wasn't tapping his foot at all. Not that he needs to. He has incredible rhythm. But I find it amazing that some people with incredible rhythm, they don't tap their foot at all. For me, I need to feel where that beat is so I can play against it. That's just one of the things that I always used to do. A lot of people have trouble tapping their foot and strumming at the same time, but I think that's one of the key things. If you don't keep the beat at all in any way, whether you're rocking your head, moving your body, you need to feel the rhythm and feel the beat. So that's my number one thing that you can start working on to improve your rhythm. My number two way to improve your rhythm is practice with a metronome. Most people are like, I do not like metronomes. I'm with you. I feel you. But there is something about, hearing that click at 80 beats per minute or 100. And everyone's like, well, how fast am I supposed to practice? I don't care. Somewhere probably between 50 and 60 and 120. Something, you can play. I wouldn't go a lot slower than 50, but somewhere 80 or between 70 and 80 is kind of a nice normal tempo. If you want to just practice strumming quarter notes, if you want to practice scales, if you want to practice quarter notes, maybe more like between 100 and 120 or 16th notes. But playing with a metronome is really good because it's just basically forcing yourself to try to stay on the tick. So I'll even tell people, close your eyes. If you're just sitting there, just listen to the tick and try to play right on it. Tap a foot along with it. I think that really helps. I used to practice with a metronome a lot when I was younger. Now I don't enjoy it. For me, I would rather... I just look up on YouTube. I would just get a backing track for drums. There's drum backing tracks and just about any beats per minute you can think of. If you want 120, 110, 105, you can find rock drum beats or all different kinds of drum styles, drum beat styles, and you can just practice along with those. You need to be practicing quarter notes, eighth notes, triplets, 16th notes, those types of things, quarter note triplets, those different types of rhythms right along with a drum beat or a metronome to really start getting in sync with the beat. That's my number 2 suggestion. My number 3 suggestion is play along with a lot of songs. There is no song that's too simple, because if you can't strum accurately quarter notes, it doesn't matter if you want to play eighth notes, 16th notes, play incredibly fast songs, hard, incredibly technical. None of that matters if you can't even play quarter notes. So my advice is if you really just want to work on your rhythm, your timing, pick a nice AC/DC song, something where you have a lot of quarter notes or eighth notes, and play along with those, and really focus on nailing the beat and being right on the beat. And then as you get better at it, start increasing the difficulty of the songs. And I'm not just talking about rhythm as well. Pick really basic guitar solos, easy guitar solos. I can give you a couple suggestions if you want of. You got to get the simple stuff down first before you're going to be able to kind of nail more complicated rhythms. So that is my suggestion number 3. My number 4 suggestion is going to be record yourself. A lot of times when you're playing, you're soloing, you're jamming along with a song, you think you're playing everything perfect, the timing's great, but if you would actually record yourself, you'd probably hear that maybe you have some issues and it's not quite as tight as you thought it was. And maybe it is as tight as you thought it was, and it's perfect, and that's great. Maybe you don't have to work on that. But my advice is to record yourself. You probably have seen me play a lot of different guitar riffs on, TikTok, wherever, Facebook, Instagram. And when I first started doing those, my timing, it just wasn't as tight as I wanted it. When you're actually recording something and you can see the little markers for the quarter note, and you play your chords, and you can see that you're not coming in right on the beat, then it's like, well, you have to work on it. So when I do those riffs, I usually practice the riff maybe 10 or 20 times before I record. A lot of times when I record them, it only takes me a couple takes, but that's because I've already played it 50 times before that. I practice it until I have it down where I think, not only do I practice it, but then I practice recording it. So I'll just hit record, practice it a bunch of times to kind of get a feel for what does it sound like playing along with the click track. Can I do it? Maybe the click needs to be real loud. Sometimes I find that if it's something fast I'm playing, I kind of get lost. Like if I can't hear the click track in my ear real loud, then sometimes I have a tendency to get a little off. So recording yourself in time takes a lot of practice. So my advice would be to get something like a DAW, a DAW. I use Pro Tools. I use the Artist, not Artist Series, but the Artist subscription. It's only $9.99 a month, which I think is absolutely astounding that you can get Pro Tools for only $9.99 a month. If you don't want to pay anything for recording some software, I would get Reaper. I used to use that. I enjoy that. That works really well. I've already imported like a backing track along with the video, and Reaper handled that fine. I was able to solo over top of a backing track while watching the video that showed the chords and stuff as the chords went by in the backing track. And I thought that was a lot of fun. So Reaper, you can get you can basically get the demo mode, which is the full program. And you can kind of use it indefinitely, but eventually I suggest that you pay for it. After like a year of using it, I just went ahead and, of course, paid for it. But now I use Pro Tools. But at least that's something free you can get, and then you can open it up and set 70, 80 beats per minute, and then you can go ahead and practice along with just even strumming quarter notes, practicing strumming right on the beat. Then you can go faster, slower. And then you can also just just import a song and then play along with it. That's something else that you can do, that you can see, am I playing right along with Angus? How tight am I? We can play, play right along with that AC/DC song and see just exactly how tight you are. So recording yourself is going to be my number 4. I think that's really important at a certain point. And if you're a beginner guitar player, I don't think you really have to worry about that. You can do the other things. But if you're intermediate, or if you have a real passion or you're a real interest in doing some recordings, then you need to start practicing your timing, inside of a recording DAW. And that was my number 4. My guitar tip number 5 is just have fun with rhythm. Just like you may enjoy a guitar riff or playing your favorite, piece of a song, a guitar riff or a little guitar solo. Experiment and have fun with rhythm, because I promise you, nothing is going to make you sound better on guitar than having really good tight rhythm. So those are my 5 tips on how to improve your rhythm. Remember, rhythm is king.